The survey page is designed for initial site surveys or daily use in working projects. This is where you can select project requirements when discussing details with the customer, enter specific site measurements, and write down notes on aspects of the project in progress. On the right-hand side of the page, you will find a category tree that is used in most project-related pages. By clicking on the boxed plus icon next to the root category, you can expand the category tree and reveal all of its children categories. Similarly, you can expand children categories that have a boxed plus icon next to them to reveal their own children. If a category has no children, you will see a disabled boxed cross icon next to it. You can navigate between categories by expanding the tree and selecting a category, or by using the left and right chevron buttons. Once you select a category, its name will be displayed on the content header, and if the category has data items, the content container will be filled with those items. Each of the data items has inputs that display their current values. At the top of the page, there is a group of buttons. Some of these buttons can be disabled depending on the currently active category. You can edit a category name by clicking the Edit Category Name button. The category's title will become an input for you to enter a new name. This feature is useful as category titles are used in generating a quote specification. Instead of a generic category name like wall, you can give it a more specific name, such as front facade wall or wall at rear, facing left side neighbors. If a category has this feature enabled, you can insert modules within it. Clicking on the Insert Module button will display a pop-up with available modules. If a root category is active, this pop-up will display an empty components table with search fields for you to quickly find the required components project. Select the required modules or components project and click the Add button at the bottom of the pop-up. This will create a copy or copies of your selected modules within the active category. Please note that some project components can be very sizable, and it can take a bit of time to complete. It is best to set up all of the components required before meeting with a customer. If a category has this feature, you can clone it. Clicking on the Clone Category button will require confirmation that it is not an accidental button click. This will create a copy of that category with all its children categories and all items within its parent. This is useful when, for example, currently, a project wall only has one window, and more windows are required. If a category can be deleted, you can delete it by clicking the Delete Category button, which will require confirmation that it is not an accidental button click. This will delete the category and all its children with items within. This is useful when, for example, currently, a project wall has two windows, and only one window is required. The Category Notes button will show another pop-up. The notes you enter in the text input will be used when generating a quote specification. If you click the button while the root category is active, this will create the first paragraph under the title of the project within a quote. Otherwise, this will be the first sentences in the paragraph of the category in the quote specification. If you do not need the notes, just leave the text input blank and save. Category working notes are useful when managing a project on a daily basis, and you want to create a to-do list or make a note of something that needs to be inspected later. The category content is filled with its data items, which are either a variable input with a value of some number or an option box with multiple choices. As you progress from top to bottom, choose relevant options carefully because each decision you make will affect the available choices and inputs further down. Although filling in variable inputs may cause significant changes, they may not always be noticeable. To ensure accuracy of the quote, it is essential to enter numbers as precise as possible. While making selections is typically straightforward, inputting variable numbers may be challenging, and it may require measuring site dimensions, average dimension from personal experience, or a calculated value using other dimensions. All of these inputs are crucial for generating an accurate quote. Similar to categories, some data items may also have action buttons. Such items are indicated by a chevron on the left and can be swiped to the right to reveal the buttons. If you click the Edit Item Name button, a text input field will appear where you can modify the name of the item. The name of such an item is used to generate a quote specification, which can be useful when you need to be more specific in your quote. Some items can be cloned, and if they have child items assigned to them, a group of items will be created under the last original item. Cloned items can be deleted, just like categories, but confirmation is required to prevent accidental deletion. All of these actions, such as cloning categories and items, inserting modules, deleting categories and items, and modifying selection and input values, will be reflected in the quote, project financials, and specifications. According to our surveys of builders, many of them estimate project costs without adequate accuracy, which can lead to unexpected losses. With Tradespal, your quotes will be as accurate as possible, and the specifications will be documented in great detail.